Fine. So, welcome to the training, and let's start with day one, which is brief introduction to Selenium. The question being asked is, do I cover GitHub? Yeah, by the end of the training, I'll tell you. Okay. So, out here, uh, look, first let me tell you the brief background about Selenium and what all we'll cover in the course. I've already told you, we'll be covering everything. Right, frameworks and all, and there's a question being asked that what are the projects frameworks as you mentioned. Look, a framework, I'll just tell you what a framework is, Anusha. In some time you'll come to know. Okay, right. And first let me tell you how has Selenium evolved and where it is going and what is the advantage of learning this tool. Okay, so that everybody gets very clear that he is heading in the right direction by learning this tool. Okay, the first question is that am I doing the right thing by learning this tool? Many people have this tendency. They think that fine, if I think of learning some other tool, then I think I won't be learning programming, and then probably I can get a job as well. Look, you cannot run away from programming. First of all, if you're a manual tester and if you want to, get ahead with your career, you need to learn programming. Okay, and we will be learning Java in this tool. Look, once you learn Selenium and you learn Java, then learning other tools, it becomes easy. Other tools, like even if you tomorrow want to learn QTP, or if you want to learn, say, SOAP UI, which is for web services automation, or even if you want to learn load testing tools like JMeter or LoadRunner, or you want to learn Appium, which is mobile automation tool, then learning all these tools like you'll find it easy once you have learned Selenium. So you have to start somewhere, right? And this tool is going to remain in the market, and the demand for this tool is growing very positively. Okay, it's an open source tool which can do anything with web applications, so obviously anybody would like to use it, right? Now, how this tool has evolved over a period of time, right? Look, the thing is, when this tool came in for the first time, like I worked on it for the first time somewhere near 2007. Okay, there were three components. One was known as Selenium RC, one's known as IDE, and the other one is GRID. Okay, IDE is primarily a record and run tool. Okay, record and run feature is there in every automation tool. You take up anything, silk test, or you take up QTP, you take up any automation tool, you'll find the record and run feature in that. But record and run is not very successful because we have to write dynamic scripts these days. So IDE is not a very successful tool. Okay, it will only work on Mozilla and Selenium IDE. It will generate no reports, nothing. So it cannot handle projects at bigger scale, which are, say, of 3000 test cases or 4000 test cases. You cannot manage them with IDE. Okay, it is just a refresher kind of a tool which nobody actually uses these days, right? So instead of IDE, people used to use Selenium RC in the beginning. Selenium RC is also known as Selenium 1.0. Okay, and it could support multiple browsers. Okay, and you could write dynamic scripts in it. You could generate reports. So everything was possible with RC, but it had few drawbacks. I don't want to talk about those drawbacks right now. Okay, so what happened was people came up with the new version somewhere near August 2011, and that's known as WebDriver. It was known as Selenium 2.0. Okay, this was a new version, and there was no migration. The commands, the controls, everything was very different. Okay, WebDriver is a completely different tool than RC. You don't need to learn RC in order to learn WebDriver. WebDriver could also use multiple browsers, dynamic reporting, and dynamic coding. You could do everything, but you had to learn a programming language like Java, C Sharp, Perl, Python to learn WebDriver. Okay, right. And IDE is still there, right? It is still there. and grid came forward and came into something known as grid 2, which could support RC as well as WebDriver. Now what has happened is that around 4-5 months back, WebDriver 3.0 has been released. Almost everything is same as 2.0. The commands and all, everything is same. Okay. And grid 3.0 has also come up. Okay. But there is a problem. The problem is that WebDriver 3.x is still unstable. Few things they don't work. Few straight things they don't work. I will show you in the training, okay, what doesn't work, and then I'll tell you what is the solution as well. Okay, right. So this is the brief history that how Selenium has evolved over a period of time and what all we will be learning in this training. We learn grid, we learn WebDriver, we learn everything. Okay, right. Now the main objective of this training is to learn how to build frameworks. Okay, how to build a framework. Now, what is a framework? That was a question being asked few minutes back by Anusha, that what are the frameworks, as you mentioned, what is a framework? Okay, look, in a nutshell, in the first class, I can only explain you this thing, that when we build a project, suppose you have a project in the company and they tell you that fine, these are the 1000 test cases which team has to manage, or team has to automate. Then you make the test cases like these. Okay, these will be your test cases, say test case 1, test case 2, test case 3, test case 4. Now you can have a requirement that you have to run one test case after another test case in a serial order. Okay, sometimes you might not want to run any one of the test cases, and you would want that after test case 1, test case 3 should directly execute. Okay, right, when you write the Selenium scripts. Sometimes you would want that, when these test cases run, instead of running serially, all of these test cases, they run parallelly. Okay, right. So we have to manage all these things. Apart from this, you have to have a system wherein your data should be read, say, from an XLS file or a properties file or an XML file. From an external file, the data should be fetched inside the test cases, right? Apart from this, you might have a situation where you would want to generate reports. You like to generate reports which are HTML reports. Okay, you should have screenshots in the reports and all, everything. You should have logs in the reports. Logs means that suppose if the script is running for 20 hours, then what happened at each and every moment, right? For example, hold on, hold on. For example, if you look at this is a sample report. Hold on. Yeah, this is a sample report which tells you that what happened at each and every moment. We opened the browser, we are doing the login, we are on the home page, something like that. Okay, clicking on the login link, enter this username, password, login successful. So you need to have a log like this, and if some error comes up, right, you have to report that error as well, and the screenshots and all, everything should go in the reports. Okay, right. So how do you manage all these things? To manage all these things, we have a centralized controller. This centralized controller is known as testng, or people also use JUnit, or people also use BDD frameworks like Cucumber or something. Okay, right. And what this does is that it will read the data from the Excel file, it will call the test cases in their order, or it can also call them serially or parallelly. Okay, and it will help you generate the reports and all everything. Right. So Selenium as a tool, if you just talk about Selenium, then Selenium is in the green box. The green box is Selenium. Selenium will only help you to write commands which can automate your application, which can, interact with the browser. It will never generate reports or run the test cases in some order or read the data from the Excel file and all. So this whole picture is a framework. Everything combined together is known as a framework. Right, and there are different strategies to build framework. And to build a framework, it is not just Selenium which you have to learn. Apart from Selenium, you have to learn one of the frameworks, preferably say TestNG. Okay, you have to learn how to generate reports, screenshots and all, how to write the Java code to read data and all. Apart from that, you have to integrate this framework with CI tool like Jenkins, store the code on Git and all everything. Are you understanding my point? Right, so this training is just not about Selenium, it is about many other things as well. Okay, you have to integrate GRID as well, Selenium GRID to run the test cases parallelly. Alright, so anybody with any questions, you can feel free to ask. Right, so this is the main objective of the course. That's what we are going to do in this entire training. Right. But we cannot just directly do it. First, let us learn Selenium. It's going to take us minimum 17 hours or something to learn Selenium. Right. So, learn Selenium, the first thing is that on day one, we have to actually, start with Java. Java is important. Why is Java important? Because without it, you cannot actually learn Selenium. Right. Look, if you go to the official website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org, and over here you will see this download link. Okay, if you go over here, this is the Java version. The current version is 3.0.1, and there are important links over here. One is download. From this you can download the latest Selenium version. You click on this download link, it will get downloaded. Right, you have this link known as changelog. Hold on, I'll just download it. I'll click on this link, download, let it download. This changelog link, this tells you that what has changed in Selenium over a period of time. Although it might be a little difficult to understand the changelog, but yes, this is the Selenium 3 which came up. Okay, and they supported Firefox and stability fixes in GRID. You'll see everything, how it has evolved, right? And the last stable release for Selenium was 2.53. This is very stable. Okay, and I will also be teaching some things on this because the 3.x version has issues. After 2.53, they came up with 3.0 beta 1, which had lot of issues, and still the issues are being fixed. Okay, but the stablest release is 2.53, which works perfectly fine. Okay, and now after fixing many things, the latest release is 3.0.2. Okay, right. This is just for your information. You can check out the details and all as well. Right, and this is the Java doc link which we'll be using a lot. This is the official documentation of Selenium. You cannot understand this documentation. To understand this documentation, you need to learn Java and you need to learn the concepts of object-oriented programming. Right. So, OOPS is important, object-oriented programming is important. Without OOPS, you cannot go ahead. Okay. Right. So, this is the official website of Selenium. You can go over here. This is the URL. Right. And download the latest version. Alright. Now, the next thing is you need to have two things. Firstly, you need to have JDK on your system. Just go to Google and type download JDK. Most of you must be having this. If you don't have it, then I'm just telling you because this is the first class. Right. and this is the first link, download JSE, and over here you will see that yeah, you click on this link, download, and you'll go to the downloads page where you have got JDK Kit 8U11, and for your Windows 64-bit, 32-bit or Mac OS, you can download the JDK. Okay, and you can install it on your PC. Right. Okay. Now, hold on. Yeah. Now, the next thing is you need to download Eclipse as well. You go over here, type download Eclipse. Eclipse is IDE for writing Java code. Okay, and you can download Eclipse Luna, which is quite stable, and you can go to this link, Eclipse Luna, and you can install it. Okay, you can simply download. Most of you must be having this. You can simply download it from here, from this download link. Once you download Eclipse, it will come as a bundle like I have over here. You extract it and you will have this exe file. You can start it. Most of you must be knowing about these things. Okay, but just I am telling you for your information. And you know, this is the pathway of workspace, right? This is the place where you will be storing all the code. Okay, I'll name it Jan 2017 weekday, and you can open up Eclipse. Right, now Eclipse, you are going to use it throughout the training. Okay, inside Eclipse we'll write the Selenium code which is in Java. Right, just hold on, let it open. Yeah, now this is the Eclipse IDE, and I'll just hold on, I'll close this welcome screen. Right, now out here, yeah Bhavna, it's okay if you're having Mars. Out here in this central part, you will be writing the code. The projects will be present on the left side, and the output will be available at the bottom. We'll see that. We'll see. You will come to know. There are basically three sections. Right. So the first thing is that you need to make a project in Eclipse. Okay. So you go to File, New, and you can go to Other. Right. Under Other, you will find Java. Right. Under Java, you will find Java project. So you make a new Java project and call that project day 1. Right. Okay. This is the day 1 project. It will be available in the package explorer. If you expand it, you will find JRE system library. This JRE system library is nothing but Java, which is, or JDK, which got installed on your system. Java which is installed. This is the source folder. Inside the source folder, you will have all the Java files and all. Okay, you can create your first Java file by right clicking on the source folder, going to new class. Okay, and I'll call it as sample or first Java program. Right, click on this checkbox, public static void main, and the program will come up. Hold on, let me increase my font size. Yeah, look, what is public, what is static, and all these things I'll explain you as the time proceeds. I cannot explain you these things without explaining you object oriented programming. So few things you'll have to accept them as it is. This is the main function. Every programming language has a main function. Even C has a main function in which the control comes up directly when you actually run the program for the first time. Okay, and inside it, if I type over here system.out.println hello Selenium, so this will print hello Selenium. Look, system.out.println is the command in Java to print something. You can type syso and hit control space bar and this will come up. Okay, right, syso plus control plus space. Okay, right. So yes, Ajit, the session started at 8 a.m. Right. Now out here, if I run this, you can run it by clicking on this button on the top and you will get hello Selenium written at the bottom. Now, few things people out here before I go ahead. Many times in Eclipse, what people do, they close this console by mistake and then they don't know where to get it back from, right? So, and that creates a big confusion. It's very easy. You can go to Window, Show View, and you can activate console back from here. Or sometimes people close the package explorer which is on the left side, and then again it is a problem. You can go to Window, Show View, and you can go to Project Explorer and it will come back. Okay, so you have to you have to be a little careful out here. Don't worry, you can close any screen and any screen can come back. This is just a small thing, but it creates a lot of issues with newcomers, right? So out here, this is the simple thing, right? Now, I am assuming that you are a kind of person who knows what if statement is, what for loop is, what a function is, right? I'm assuming these things. If you don't know these things, then just go to qtpselenium.com and over here, hold on, go to the Selenium training section out here and you will see the training video 2, loops, arrays and functions. Right, just have a look at this. Okay, it's a free module, anybody can know, right? So this is the first Java program, right? I'm assuming you know these things. Now the next thing is, I'm assuming that you know basic things like what an integer is, that int I equals to 100, what a string is, string s equals to hello there, right? It can hold multiple characters. You know what boolean is, it can hold true or false, right? Something like this. I'm assuming you know basic things, right? What my motive out here is, to teach you what OOPS is, object oriented programming with Selenium. Now if I run this program, as I told you, if I run it, you'll get the output at the bottom. Okay, now few things about this project. If you right click on this project, you will get multiple options. One of the options which is important is properties. Okay, and in the properties section, you will have all these things. We'll be using them a lot. Okay, under the resource tab, you will have the path where the project is stored on your hard drive. Sometimes you want to go to the physical location of this project on the hard drive. So you can right click, go to the properties, go to the resource, and this is the path. Right, if I copy this path, open it, right, you can get the path from there and open this actual project. This is the day 1 project. And in the day 1 project, you will see source, bin and various types of folders. Okay. In the source folder, you will find the Java program. Okay. Right. This is the Java program. You'll find it. And correspondingly in the bin folder, you will have something known as .class file. Okay. This is something which is generated or at compile time. Every Java file is converted to a class file. If I make one more Java file over here, for example, I'll make a new class out here in my Eclipse, right? I had one Java file. I'll make one more Java file, say sample.java, and if I print over here system.out.println Selenium class, and if I run it, it prints Selenium class, right? So you have got two Java programs over here, okay, and if I go to the bin folder, you will have sample.class file corresponding to Java file. This class file is like an exe file. You can deploy it on any operating system, Linux, Unix, Solaris operating system, Mac OS. You can go to any OS, deploy this class file, and then this class file can execute over there as well. That's why Java is platform independent. You write the code in one OS, it can run in any other OS as well. And that is why it is very famous with Selenium. You can actually make scripts run in any operating system, because it's actually the class files which will get executed in the end. Look, what happens is, I'll tell you. You have got multiple Java files. Each Java file will get converted into a class file. And these class files, they are like executable files. When we have to deliver these class files to the client, we zip them in a single file. This single file is known as a jar file. Jar file is collection of many class files. Each jar file can have many class files in it, right? How do I show you? Hold on, I'll just tell you. For example, this is JRE system library in Eclipse. This is nothing but Java which was installed on your system. Okay, right. And if you expand this, you will find many jar files. Okay, and every jar file, if you expand the jar file, will have many class files under it. There are so many class files. So you don't need to know about everything. I'm just telling you. Right. For example, if I write over here system.out.println new date. Okay, what is new? Just forget about it in some time. I'm just using one of the date classes which is present in one of the jar files over here. And when I run this program, it prints the current date, time zone, year, everything. So I never had to write a program which could actually, print everything, or I never had to write a logic to print the current date, time. So I used one of the classes which is present inside these jars, and I simply printed the date. So similarly, Selenium also works the same way. In Selenium, everything is inbuilt. You don't need to write, or you don't need to go into that level. Okay, you need to know the commands in Selenium and you can learn everything. Everything is inbuilt. Okay, all you need to know is the classes which are present in Selenium. For example, I created the object of date class over here, and in Java, this date class is present in one of the jar files over here. Right. Now, similarly for Selenium, there are jar files. Whosoever made Selenium, okay, has given you jar files which you can download from this download link on the Selenium website. Okay, go to the Selenium website, click on this download section, come under this download section, and you will see the download link. When you download it, you will have this zip file coming up. Okay, right. For example, I already have this. Yeah, this is the Selenium 3.0.1 folder. You'll get a folder like this once you extract the Selenium zip file, and in this Selenium you will have, in this folder you'll have this main jar file, client combined node ps, and under the lib folder you will have many other jar files as well. Okay, right. So all you need to do is that you need to go to Eclipse and import these jar files inside Eclipse to make this project Selenium enabled. Selenium is not installed. There is no exe for Selenium. you will get these jar files. This is the main jar file, the other ones are in the library folder. You need to import those jars in Eclipse. Okay, so how do you do that? You right click on day one and you go to the properties. Okay, and go to this option, Java build path. I am recording this session, you'll get the recorded video. Okay, you can have a look at that as well. Right, under Java build path, under the libraries tab, you can go. There are 4 tabs over here. You need to go to the libraries tab. Click on the button add external jars and you can go to the location of your jar file. Include this jar file. This is the main jar file. Okay, and also don't forget to import all the jars under the lib folder. Okay, please do that. Many times people make this mistake. You have to import all the jars under lib and that's it. So you will have all these jars showing up over here. Okay, like I have them in my Eclipse. Right. So anyone having any questions? Now you can use one of the commands in these jars to work with Selenium to manage browsers, but to understand all that stuff you need to understand, object oriented programming. Okay, without understanding object oriented programming you cannot understand the features of these jars and all. Right. So anyone having any questions in whatever I have taught before I jump over to the concepts of object oriented programming? Once you learn this, you can actually start working with Selenium as well. Okay. So anyone? Anybody? Nothing? Right. So what I'll do is that I'll stop here for today.